Warhammer 40k is a massive juggernaut of a universe that many people are scared to get started in. With hundreds of books, factions, video games, and models, where do you even begin? Well, as an owner of way too many unfinished Warhammer armies, I'm here to help you get started on your brand new addiction by telling you the 5 best ways, in no discernible order, to begin your journey into the universe of Warhammer 40,000. For those of you that have no clue about the setting, I'll fill you in. It all begins with the war in heaven.
2,000 years later.
Okay, yeah, we are not doing that. If I really went and explained the entirety of Warhammer lore, it would take like 20 Lord of the Ring trilogies of time to just scratch the surface of it. And that's kind of the problem with Warhammer. When you first start out, you really don't have a direction on where to begin. For those of you that have no clue what Warhammer is, I'm going to give a really simple summary just so you can figure out if it's something you personally would be interested in. Okay, now where did I put that data slate? Here it is. Alright, let's begin. Warhammer 40k takes place in a hostile galaxy, tens of thousands of years in the future, where humanity tries to defend itself across millions of planets from all kinds of threats that wish to see its extinction. Humanity falls under a cruel galactic empire known as the Imperium of Man, that worships a living corpse on a golden throne known as the Emperor of Mankind. The Imperium of Man, while powerful and can be considered the dominant force in the galaxy, is constantly beset by all manner of horrifying threats that seek to tear apart the Imperium both outside and inside its borders. We've got immortal robots that enslave their own gods, a bug hive mind that wants to devour all life, futuristic Gundams, Mad Max alien hillbillies, space elves, evil space elves, orcs grown from mushrooms, literal demons. There's a lot more, but anyway. Faced with annihilation, humanity does whatever is necessary to fight for its own survival in a galaxy hostile to its existence. Whether that is sending billions of troops to their deaths just to save a single planet, to using genetically modified superhumans that have been purged of all fear, and when the Imperium believes a planet is beyond saving, will scorch the entire planet, destroying all life on it, just so the enemy can't use it. For in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. Wow, that sounds terrible. That's Warhammer for you. The setting coined the term grim dark for its excessively dark and dystopian universe, and now hopefully you have a decent idea why. If any of this sounds interesting to you at all, then great. From here, I'll go into the top 5 ways of getting introduced into the Warhammer universe. So sit back, relax, have some recap for maybe some corpse starch, and we'll begin. This was actually the way I got introduced to Warhammer, was through YouTube videos and fan animations. There are plenty of great videos that give you an easy introduction into the Warhammer universe and get to show off animations by passionate fans that make this content just because they love the setting so much. My personal recommendation would be to watch some lore videos by Luton and just pick a video that sounds interesting. He makes great videos and can get you introduced to all the factions and what they're about. I'll put his channel in the description. Another obvious recommendation would have to be the Astartes video series. It's an extremely accurate portrayal of what Space Marines are like, and it's done to a high standard. Plenty of people outside of the Warhammer community even enjoyed it just because it was done so well. Great cinematography, great action, it has everything. It was so good that the company that makes Warhammer, Games Workshop, hired the guy who created it, and it became official lore, so that should tell you how awesome of a video it is. Next slide.
Join us, and you may sate your rage and aid our cause. Lead me to the slaughter!
There have been a lot of good Warhammer video games lately, and with the release of Space Marine 2, it was the first introduction for a lot of people into Warhammer, and a good one. You play as one of the poster boy Space Marines as you hack and slash your way through the enemies of the Imperium. Tons of fun. Great game, especially with friends. If that isn't up to your speed, there's Darktide, which is one of my personal favorites. It's a Left 4 Dead inspired game that forces you to fight in the bowels of a hive city as just a couple of regular dudes. And an Ogryn. Ogrins are awesome. Oh, what's an Ogryn? They're mutant humans that are super strong and super dumb, and by the Imperium standards, they're basically model soldiers. This is my Ogryn, Boris. He doesn't like thinking and he's scared of big words, but there's one thing he's good at: beating heretics until they stop moving. Warhammer video games fall under a lot of different genres as well. Top-down strategy, Doom-inspired, the list goes on. let's go to number 3. Hang on, pause for a moment. It looks like 100% of you aren't subscribed. How do I know this? Well, it's because I have exactly 0 subscribers. So help me hit that big milestone of 1 subscriber. It would legit mean the world to me, but only if you think I deserve it. I have a lot to learn about this YouTube stuff, so smash that button, dab on that bell, whatever I have to say to make you click the thing. Now, let's get back to the video. Wait, does anyone else hear that? There are hundreds of Warhammer books you can read from the Black Library website, or listen to on apps like Audible if you're a bit of a bookworm like me. The quality of the books definitely range from great to dog shit, so I can only recommend the ones I've read myself and enjoyed. The Infinite and the Divine, which, if you can believe it, is about 2 robots trying to thwart one another spy versus spy style, and is considered one of the best Warhammer books. Now, to be honest with you, this isn't the best book to start with if you don't know anything about Warhammer. The book rewards you with the more you know about the lore before you read it, but I included it because it's the best example of showing that Warhammer doesn't always have to be doom and gloom. It can be really funny when it doesn't have to take itself too seriously. I recommend reading this one once you have a basic grasp of all the Warhammer factions. A better book to start off with would be 15 Hours, which is about a new human soldier in the Imperial Guard and his first combat that not only shows how cruel war can be, but really highlights how dysfunctional and thoughtless the Imperium of Man is to its people. The main character also doesn't know much about the universe since he's only lived on a farm his whole life, so you get to learn together with the main character the basic ideas of Warhammer. Last is the Gaunt's Ghost series, which goes over the adventures of Commissar Gaunt and his guard regiment that introduces you to a lot of different parts of the Warhammer galaxy. I like this one a lot as well because while there isn't any truly good factions in Warhammer, there are good people and Gaunt is one of them. He has to make really cruel decisions at times, but he tries his best to have empathy and keep his morality in a universe that constantly challenges it. At the end of the day, if none of that interests you, just choose something that sounds cool and go for it. You would be surprised what factions you'll end up liking once you get to know them. Except Chaos. Well, at least for me. I still can't fathom in lore why regular humans would willingly side, not forced, willingly side with Chaos. Yeah, the Imperium really sucks, but you think the dudes who wear human skin coats are gonna create a better government for you? Moving on to the next topic.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Derivative. That I love. I absolutely love.
Art. Everyone loves art when it's not shit. Or maybe people do like it when it's shit. I don't know. Art's weird. But the art for Warhammer is peak. Look at this stuff. Books are great and all, but a lot of people need that visual representation as well. It's impactful, violent, and just plain badass. In a single image, you get everything that is Warhammer shown on full display. Say what you will about Games Workshop, but they know how to make good art. After first hearing about Warhammer, seeing all the art created for it gets your imagination going and excited to know more about it. The artist John Blanche created many of the iconic art pieces for Warhammer that literally define the setting. That dark, visceral, gritty aesthetic is still in Warhammer to this day because of him. Now, I'm sure some of you are wondering why I'm leaving a giant part of the hobby out. Well, the lore, video games, books, art, all of that is really made in the hopes that you get into
money. Okay, so I'm gonna have my Retributor squad attack your Stormhawk Interceptor.
Okay, that has a toughness of 7 and a -1 to your hit rolls.
Okay, so that's 3, 4, 5 hits.
Okay, I'm gonna roll my saving throw, which is 3+.
What in the actual f are you guys doing?
the miniatures. Yeah, I left it for last, but I have a good reason to as someone who has worked on a decent amount of them and owns way too many of them. Oh wow, I don't even remember owning some of these. That's concerning. A lot of people get into the hobby because of the Warhammer tabletop game, and it's what Games Workshop hopes you buy when they put all that effort into all the other media sources. One of the videos that got me into the hobby was Magikarp Used Fly's video where him and his friends spent a bunch of money on Warhammer armies. Spoiler alert, don't buy an army all at once. It's dumb and I'll get into why. I sure didn't listen. I love building, painting, and playing the tabletop. Here is some of the stuff I've painted, but it's a lot of work. You have to assemble them, glue them, put them together, remove the mold lines, spray paint them with primer, paint them, and if you want to play the tabletop, you have to learn a whole shit ton of rules. I'm a massive nerd. I play D&D. I'm used to learning complex rules for a tabletop game, but man is Warhammer its own beast. Depending on how much you put into these models, it can be at minimum taking several hours per miniature to complete them, or more. And to field an army, you need a whole lot of them. And they're expensive. Rip Australia. I don't want this to come out as negative though. I just want to warn you that it is a hobby. This will take a ton of your time. Even if you don't want to paint them to a high standard, that's fine, but it is still a lot of effort to build up an army. So here's my advice if you're interested. Watch several videos about people painting and building these models. Get an idea of what it's like to play the tabletop and what tools you will need to actually build up an army. If after that you want to go further, go on Games Workshop's website and look through each of the factions and see what looks coolest to you. Hopefully with the other topics we went over already, you have an idea of what faction you would like, but if not, that's okay. If you just see some models you think look cool, go for that. But only buy a few at a time and finish them before working on the next. Don't be like me. Don't accumulate an entire pile of shame that will last you into the next decade. I love Warhammer. I love the hobby and the community around it, so I hope this video helped you out in some way, or was at least entertaining. Leave a comment about what exactly got you into Warhammer, or what your favorite faction is. I would love to know. I also want to give a shout out and thank 101ho for allowing me to use their art in this video. Their YouTube channel, Twitter, and commission page will be available in the description. Their art is awesome, so please check them out. I'll probably make more Warhammer videos in the future. It's one of my biggest hobbies after all, but this channel will be about a bunch of things I'm interested in. Make sure to like or dislike the video, even though dislikes were turned off by YouTube. Why did they do that? How are you supposed to know if a video is good or not without it? Even if you have the add-on that lets you see it, people are incentivized not to dislike the video because they don't see a point in it. Anyway, rambling over, goodbye.